Well, good evening, everybody. What y'all got going on? Looks like it's me and Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
All right, I'm loving this. In case it's your first time joining us, I'm Miss B, CEO of Storm Talk 365, where we help you talk to the storms in your life, and Storm Radio 24/7, where we talk about arts, business, entertainment, and more. But tonight I have my friend, my pal, my special son, Chris Allen, Issues of Men, where we talk about things that not only men, but people sometimes just don't want to talk about. Chris, you have been with me for a while, and you just had your, I guess, an initial interview yesterday with the author. We're going to talk about that at the end, but tell them a little bit about you. I want them to know about your merchandise, your books, your notary. We're not going to say that for the end. We're going to introduce everything right now. How about that? In the beginning.
Yeah, I'm a author, actor, mentor. I'm the editorial manager for the Healing Connector, notary, and most of my works and everything that I do are for the betterment of men, is for the betterment of women, betterment of our youth. Just trying to get us to think more critical, do better. If you know better, do better. You can catch my books, my Issues of Men apparel line, which is growing. A number of things. Yes, I should actually say merchandise, because that's what it's apparel and merchandise. Issues of Men apparel and merchandise. You can see that. You can see my books, anything about myself, events on www.authorchrisallen.com. And the website is growing bigger and bigger every month. You can also catch my notary services on there. I am preparing at this time. I'm getting together a website for my notary service and for the Ascension Publishing services that I do offer. But everything is there at this point in time. And if you need to reach out to me or contact me, the number is 804-212-5347.
Well, that was a mouthful, and I'm excited about your growth. I'm really impressed, and I'm looking forward to bigger and better as you move forward. Issues of Men is Chris Allen's show. I'm just giving him a platform. So if you ever see him go on without me, it's because it's his show. If you are missing some of his episodes, please go to his YouTube channel. What is under Issues of Men, right?
The Issues of Men.
The issues, and catch his videos. He's uploading them on a regular basis. So please follow him. Tonight, we have a topic that I'm not exactly excited about it, because I've had some issues with this topic. So what's the topic today, Chris?
The topic for this evening, Ms. B, it is how well do you listen to and respect your partner? Now, we can break this down into two pieces. And just knowing that as being human beings, we're not going to be perfect as individuals. In our relationships, we're not going to be perfect. But one thing that we can do is we can get better at managing our relationships and how we treat each other. And so this is where this discussion topic came from. And, I've talked to several of my business partners and business partners that are, longtime friends and new and old business partners. And we, just come up with a unanimous situation where it's though, although we're in these relationships, a lot of things that we receive as men, we don't reciprocate or do the same for our counterparts. And whether that's 50-50, 60-40, 30-70, or vice versa, how it goes in a relationship. But it's definitely something that we thought that needed to be addressed or even brought out to the forefront and talked about, because sometimes you don't know that you're even doing these things. But it is an issue. So this is why we came up with the topic: how well do you listen to and respect your partner? And one of the things that I can say, Ms. B, is that when we talk about respect, right? The online dictionary states that the definition of respect is the feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Based on that definition alone, mm, we don't do that all the time. It's hit or miss. It's on or off. Although we may do, um, it's not always 100% all the time with that. And I'm not saying that we're going to be 100%, but it definitely needs to be better. So,
Chris,
yes,
excuse me, can you read that definition one more time?
it says the definition of respect is feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements.
Hmm.
And I don't know, for me, it's a little bit deeper than that. It goes a little bit deeper than that. Why um, someone has gained my respect, or me being able to respect who they are as an individual, as a person, doesn't not always necessarily have to be in regards to their um, achievements, and not always to their abilities or to their qualities. It's just who they are, their character. So there's some things that I felt that were missing in that definition. Um, so let's break it down. So what I would say right now, Miss B, is that when I say I respect, I'm just going to have a general breakdown of a relationship. Okay, you may have a friend with benefits. I may have a girlfriend, a fiance, a wife, or a life partner. You may have a friend with benefits, or females may have a boyfriend, fiance. They might have a husband. So, with that being said, um, I have admiration and have great respect for her, because that means, her mindset, um, her personality, her honesty, um, her transparency, her thoughtfulness, her attractiveness. I have this admiration, this respect for how considerate she is, how attentive she is, um, and maybe how courteous she is as a person. How she looks at me, how she trusts me as an individual with her, her ability to compromise, her, and really, Miss B, when we're in a relationship with somebody, vice versa, but I'm just to say more women than men, they support us like no other. Um, she endorsed all of our stuff, and she's still there, and she listens to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in the same respect, when I talk about listening, sometimes when y'all talking, you trying to get your point across. Um, whether it doesn't when you get your point across, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's in a disagreement or we're in an argument. But even when you in general conversation, um, a lot of the men that I've talked to in regards to this, we cut them off. Um, I try to answer their responses before they even got finished having a conversation and getting out what they wanted to finish talking about. And I'll be the first to say, I don't know how I became like this. I was not like this in the beginning, but I become like this. I don't know where this came from, but not giving her the opportunity to speak, but she's given us the opportunity to speak and talk. And she sits down and listening at our beckoning call. So even in your relationship, Miss B, has there been times that you, or maybe your husband, or maybe if you had some associates that may have didn't offer you the same courtesy or in conversation in regards to you know
You know, that's two different worlds, professionally
mm-hmm.
and personally. But then what tops it all off is your relationship with your spouse or significant other. So it's really 3 different categories that you could really go into. I think issues of men tonight, because I could talk forever on that professional stuff.
Speak.
You know, this is something important to me because I am in a period of transition right now. And one of the things that has been concerning me is, how do I want to move forward with the network? And one of the things that has impacted me is my relationship with people, either directly or indirectly connected with the network. And I'm wondering, do they hear me, or am I listening to them too much? So that's professional.
Mm.
As far as personal relationships is concerned, my personality is that I am a 65-year-old gullible person. If it sounds good, I'll be like, wow, that's a good idea. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, really? And then by the time I drink a Pepsi and get myself together, I'm like, that's dumb. So on the other hand, when I give my piece, people really listen.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. And so I get the respect because evidently I make sense. I give them respect, but not always because they make sense. But the thing that I really want to talk about tonight, which is important because you have been very focused on relationships. I've been married to my friend, my buddy, my pal for about 22 years.
Mm.
And I knew him probably 8 years before then. So what I'm saying is, we have grown to be best friends. I had a situation recently. I was in my feelings, and someone close to me helped me realize that there's a root cause to everything. And I had to figure out my root cause. Let me just tell y'all something. Whether it's a significant other, husband, wife, hetero, homo, I don't care, whatever kind of relationship you're in, if you do not take the time to listen to what they're saying and at least consider it, then it's time for a closer dialogue as to why you're not listening.
Mm.
Listening, communication is a very important part of relationship. And if you don't at least respect the fact that they have something to say without cutting them off, without always having the answer before they finish, or even saying, yeah, well, okay, and you already know you're going to do what you want to do, that's a prime indication that your relationship is in trouble. I don't care how long y'all been together. So, Chris, I want to end this comment by saying this. I was in my feelings a couple of weeks ago because I'm under a lot of pressure. My husband and I, we don't argue. And when I asked you to read that description again, I'm gonna tell you, listeners, I'm being honest. No. Is he perfect for me? Yes. Is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No, but I'm perfect for him. And I want to go on video globally to say it's because of our relationship with Christ and our determination not to give Satan a stronghold on anything that concerns us. We back off when it comes to a lack of communication where, okay, we're not understanding each other. Let's move on. And so I'm encouraging you, sit down, have a dialogue as to why you're having communication issues and find out the root cause. Are you resenting that person for something? Are you going through something and don't even realize that you're taking it out on them? But I want to let you all know that I am blessed. Even though I was in my feelings a couple of weeks after he read that, my husband respects me for who I am spiritually. He respects my medical advice because I've been in nursing for a long time. He respects my opinion in a lot of things. And on the other hand, I respect his opinion because he's my husband. So let's get back to the original statement. Where there is no respect, there's a lack of communication.
Mm.
How much do you respect your spouse, significant other, determines how well you communicate. And that includes listening and agreeing to disagree if necessary. And that's, I guess, my closing argument in the beginning.
Now, after you said what you said, it was very well put. And I got, it was, that's very important, how well you respect your partner. It definitely will determine the outcome of your relationship. Um, its success, it determines a lot. It really does. I although I understand it, what you said like hit me, like it hit me right just now. Like it's clear, totally clear to me that I've been riding with this for a long time because it's something that you want to achieve and move forward with, but until you get it, an idea is an idea until you put it into action. Words are just words until you put it into action. Um, and what you said is something that, as human beings, that we need to understand that and put that into action. And make this something a little bit earlier in the part of the definition talking about achievements. And we can talk about her. We really love and respect her ability. She's a go-getter. She gets it done. Um, she may work every day, or she doesn't work, at home. She's making sure the home is being taken care of. She may run her own business, Miss B. She may have a degree or degrees, um, and she may not have one at all. She may be in school. She be on top of things. She may have her own apartment, her own condo, her own home, her own car. She may have a boat, motorcycle. You know, she may and this be an everyday girl. Get down, and she got the PS5, and she chilling with the fellas and things of that nature. So and from time to time, you know, she may rub her back, or she may give us a massage if we don't ran and played ball and shooting and whatever like that. We coming out, she rub us down, make us feel good. Um, and from time to time, she has it. She may, she'll share with us. She may buy us something. She'll throw us a couple of dollars and whatever. But and most of the time, she'll drop whatever she's doing to help and assist us. We respect her for that. But this is where the but comes in, right? Any second, based on how we feel, Miss B, how we feeling about ourselves. We may had a disagreement. I didn't like something she said. I didn't like her hairstyle this morning. She put on the wrong shoes, or uh,
Stop.
She didn't feel like doing whatever I wanted her to do last night. But so one of those things that happen, we get in our feelings, and so once we get into our feelings, Miss B, we stop. All the respect, the admiration, and these things stop. Our ability to listen and understand what she's saying stops. We don't reciprocate. We still, we don't give that same attention. It's a lot of things that are being thrown out the window, and we say that we're not emotional, but we respond in an emotional manner and don't even know it.
Okay. So I'm being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about us as a couple, but individually, I had to sit down and think about my husband, a man, and what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the triggers when you say, how well do we listen to our partners? That's the initial topic. How well do we listen to our partners?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that my husband and I have recognized and still don't come to agreement with is that he gets defensive when I'm right.
Yeah.
He gets very defensive. Oh, well, you know everything. I'm sorry. You don't have to listen to me. You know it all. There's only one way to do it. And he gets defensive. And I just shut up because I realize that those are his issues, not mine. If he's had a bad day at work, all of his supervisors are female.
Mm-hmm.
And well, not all of them, but most of them. And so he gets told what to do at work by females.
And you come home.
And so I try to, when he calls me on his break, I try to listen so he can leave some of that at work.
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes home, if he's already stretched out trying to do something, so what I'm saying, everybody, listen to me very carefully.
Listen.
How you listen to them does not necessarily mean what they're saying. Listen to their attitude. Look at their mannerisms, their facial expressions, if they're already stressed out, back off. Don't you get defensive because they're unable to receive what you're saying at the time. Because let me tell you something. Eventually, when I shut up, do whatever I'm doing, just let him go. He'll come back. Honey, you were right. And I said, thank you. Because men, let me tell you something, especially my husband is the only breadwinner, as they say. I don't work. I don't bring in any income. He does it all. I have health issues. He takes care of me. He takes care of the dogs. And he works 7 days a week. That man is just maxed. And so I don't add to it because what do you mean? You don't like what I said? What do you mean? No, just give him space. Yeah. So Chris, when you were talking about she don't put on the right shoes and this, that, and the other, it's not about her. There's something going on with you that needs to be and I'm not saying you, but you gave that example. Yes. There's something going on with you that makes you persnickety. In other words, picky. What is going on? There's nothing. You see what I'm saying? Why are you being a male B? What's up with you? What you got going on, dude? So in that case, the woman involved, she was like, okay, you know what? You need to get, you PMS and I don't have time for this. Mm-hmm. So again, I go back to my original statement. Ms. B says, how well you respect each other in the position that they're in at that moment determines how well you're going to communicate. She should pick up, okay, he's got up this morning. There's something going on. I'm just going to be quiet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that helps everybody. And that gives, for instance, I say, Chris, his time to go to work and go, you know what? I was out of order. I worked late and this last email I got plucked my nerves and I woke up wrong. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Go back to what you said. Understand the why behind the what so you can forgive the who. Why are you acting like that?
I agree. 10,000% I agree. And that's what I was like, some people have been like this for so long that Miss B, they don't know that they're doing anything else. This is normal to them. I'm trying to get you to understand, to be aware of this because although it happens, don't make it normal in your life because at a certain point, it's going to come to a place where your communication is going to shut down. Like if it hasn't majorly already, it's going to shut down. You don't even want to even speak or talk to the other person on a regular basis. So if you're not speaking or talking to your partner, you're going to talk to somebody else at some point. Eventually, you're going to get comfortable with somebody else. And then there's going to be another issue or problem coming along with that as you move forward. And again, we have to address, and sometimes you have to look at yourself. Sometimes it may just be the other person. But when she said being petty or just picking to be picking just because you can or you feel like it, and make you feel better, well, I'm getting some stuff off my chest. Is what you're getting off your chest valid? Probably 7 to 8 times out of 10, it's not. It's just you doing you because you feel um, that the person you love is supposed to take what you give. But if you're not giving them the right things, the nurturing things, the right things to love, um, you're going to have a problem. It's going to continue to develop into a problem. And so, um, so is it, Miss B? Is it a matter of circumstance? Is it a matter of selfishness? When we do this, are we throwing tantrums? When we don't get what we want, when we're not respecting someone else's ideas, when we're not giving them the same admiration, the same love, the same
No,
attentiveness.
let me just
So
stop you
yeah.
right there. I'm not a man, but let me just tell you this, especially um, being in mental health and different things. A lot of people don't understand application of scripture. So let me just give you application of common sense. Nobody taught us how to have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We're just flying by our bootstrings. Nobody taught us how to handle a relationship, much less handle our emotions, much less carry a dictionary around trying to define what is respect, what is communication, what is, you know, we don't have time to define everything. So nobody taught us how to do that. And so when it comes to having relationships with a male or female, what you experience and expose yourself to as a child and as a teenager carries over into your adult relationships. So if you're used to having your way as a child, it's going to carry over as an adult. If you're used to everybody jumping when you holler and scream, then you're going to expect that from your significant other. I'm talking. What do you mean you're not listening? I'm talking. What do you mean you're not going to do what I'm saying? I'm the boss. What you mean you don't agree? And then that's it. So what I'm saying is, um, I'm not going to sit here and be hard on men, because as each generation moves forward, they get farther and farther away from values and relationships and respecting each other. This saying of 50-50 has gotten people crazy. There's no such thing as a 50-50. I bring 100% of me, you bring 100% of you, and together we make 100% of a relationship. But when you start dissecting it and percentage value and who's in charge and who's on top and who's on the bottom, um, communication is affected by that, and a lot of men come from this. I'm the man of the house. Yo, what's up? You gonna listen to me? Why? What's up? Or you got the female B who says, I'm the female and I'm special, and you're gonna listen to me, or you're gonna lose me, or you're not gonna sleep with me, or whatever. But those have to do with how they were raised, their choices of their personality, and a lack of spiritual guidance. So I'm not going to sit here and bash the men. And I understand what you're saying. Men, especially like my husband, who work all the time, or men who've been hurt by other females, men who didn't have a good male role model, or had a mother that deserted them. There's a lot of reasons why men act the way they do toward other women. And, communication is not something that you just grow up and learn how to do. It's a process. And that's why I said the two people should sit down and have a dialogue about why are you acting like this? What happened today? Why are we having this communication issue? You need to talk about why you're not communicating.
And even with that, Miss B, you hope that the person is honest and transparent enough, trusting enough to just bring it forth without, you see
That's
what
a
I'm
whole
saying?
nother show.
Exactly. Just to bring it forth to say, you know what, this is where I am on this. This is how I feel about it. And just get it out. No matter if the other person approves or validates or whatever that is, it's out on the table. It's out of you. Having something that's going to be on the inside that's bubbling and festering, it's always going to come out wrong at some point. No matter how hard you try to hold it in, it's going to come out. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to come out in a way that's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect your kids. It's going to affect your friends. Whoever you're around, and some situation triggers or happens, something that triggers that, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a situation. So that's why I was like, it's better to be open and transparent and get those things out there. Let me see.
I'm sorry, it's 30 minutes after. We need a break anyway, but Bishop KJ Brown has joined us. 20 plus years of ministry. I have spoke to many men that was not taught and was ashamed. Thank God that some of them I was able to mentor and never shared it with anybody, so their secret was safe. You know, it's always good to have a spiritual mentor, somebody to be able to come in and not only give you practical advice, but guide you spiritually. So thank you, Bishop KJ Brown, for that. Hold that thought. I initially wanted to have a 20-minute after break and a 20 minutes too, but when I'm here with Chris, I forget what time it is. But, you know, God has his timing, because it's time for my break. And I was going to use my promo for Bishop KJ Brown. So Bishop KJ Brown, thank you so much for joining me. I don't think you've ever been here, but here we go.
Bishop KJ Brown Ministries presents Are You Ready? An informative written work that breaks down the questions you have always had about the rapture. This informative work is designed to lay out a simple-to-understand argument using biblical support to get you ready for the rapture. Purchase your copy today by visiting www.bishopkjbrown.org. Click on Bookstore link. Now, the question is, are you ready?
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. This is Ms. B and Chris right here on Issues of Men every Wednesday at 7 p.m. East Coast time on a Storm Talk 365 fan page. Tonight, we're talking about how well do you listen to your partners? But before we do that, you just saw a short clip from Bishop KJ Brown. Are you ready? He's an author. He's got a lot going on. He's on Roku TV. As a matter of fact, he's all over the place. Look him up on social media under Bishop KJ Brown, Winning Lives Ministry. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But that being said, I just want to say, Bishop KJ Brown, thank you so much. One of the things that I like about his title, Are You Ready? Regardless of the denomination or what you believe in, are you ready? He's talking about the rapture. But one of the things that I talk about on every chance I get, are you ready for your suddenly? There are no do-overs. Are you ready for your death? Are you understanding that life is a precious gift and living it may distract you from appreciating it? But once life is over, there are no do-overs. What are you doing with this life now? Because how you live life now determines where you reside spiritually for eternity. So, yes, are you ready for the rapture if you believe that? Are you ready for the returning of Christ if you believe in that? But more importantly, are you ready for your suddenly, the death? COVID has taken out a lot of people, but death has been among us ever since creation of time. It could be from anything from disease to a stray bullet or just natural death. But are you ready? Because so many people are living as if they have eternity to be here in the flesh, but it's not. Most people think we're humans trying to find ourselves spiritually, but in reality, we're spirit beings having a human experience. Are you ready for your human experience to end and wake up spiritually somewhere that you're not prepared? I encourage you to read his book. Are you ready? And if not, for the rapture, are you ready for your suddenly death? I've lost someone close to me as of today, and it's heartbreaking because you wonder, were they ready? You know, based on their life experiences and how they showed themselves to the public, it's a good possibility they were not ready for that suddenly, because again, there are no do-overs. So regardless of what you believe in, what you don't believe in, don't wait for Jesus to come for everybody. He could come for you in the next 5 minutes. All right, Chris, let's talk about communication. Where are we?
Let me tell you where we are. Wow.
Okay.
With Bishop KJ Brown, the commercial that was being presented, right? I got a call last night from one of my aunts, and she was telling me that one of my cousins is not doing well, and just touch base with the experience. And she was telling me about another one of my family members that was acting out and doing some things, and she was just telling them like, look, you need to get yourself together. Stop playing all this nonsense, you carrying on and doing out here, and get yourself together. It's like, your time is short. Get yourself together. Stop playing. So it just brought me back to another place. I had another cousin that he passed away last week. One of my older cousins had passed away last week, and again, it was a shock. But things happen. And I have a potential another cousin who's going to pass away soon. But continue to send my prayers and positive energy out to them. For them to be here a little bit while longer. And it just brought me back really quick. Like, wow, that's why you have to fight and be the best person you can be every day on every level of your existence.
And we can segue right back into communication. Let me tell you something. These words that you say, these feelings that you have, you're going to answer for them. Mm-hmm. And like you said, is it really validated? It starts, the mind is the battlefield. And your emotions will trick you into doing and saying things that you can't take back. Mm-hmm. We have to take control of who we are while we have time. And that includes how we treat other people, the words that we say, the thoughts, everything we do. So how well do we listen to our partners? How well do we listen to our relationship spiritually? How well do we listen, period? Or is it all about I, me, me? I feel this way. I want this. So his topic tonight is, how well do you listen to your partners? I say, how well do you respect yourself enough to listen to your partner? You see what I'm saying? How well do you respect yourself enough to listen to the partner? It starts with you. You can't treat anybody better than you treat yourself.
That's right.
I care enough about myself to respect my loved one and listen to what they have to say, even if I don't agree. It starts with respecting yourself, loving yourself enough to care about what other people may have to say.
And again, that's amazing, because for many years, no matter if I was trying to be the good person, the best person, the better person, none of that even mattered, because the individual that I was with at the time, anything that you said, that whether it was not even a criticism, but if it was even giving them something, hey, we can, next time, let's do this, we can do this better, or we can a lot of the things that I was saying was not negative, but the response that I was getting was like, oh, you act like my father, or you act like this, you act like
Stop
that.
right there. See what did I just say? There's a reason why they either don't listen, can't listen. There's a reason why they don't talk or can't share what they have to say. There's a root cause to everything. And we talked about that in some of our other videos. A lot of these warning flags were there before you even move forward in the relationship. And so now you knee deep in the relationship, and all of a sudden it's stuff you can't deal with.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think it's important for you to continue to bring out the point of, how well do you listen to your partners? What about should you? Should you even care about what they say? And it goes back to that. Do you respect them enough to care about what they say?
You better. And the reason why I say you better, Miss B, is because the reason why you better listen, and I'm gonna give you an example. Sure.
Those are some strong words.
Yeah, you better listen. Because a lot of us, whether we're in the street, a lot of times we don't even take what people are saying to us in a threatening manner. You don't think they're going to do it. You don't think they got it in them to do it. You don't think they're going to carry it out. You haven't carried out anything on a love basis in our relationship, a mutual respectful relationship in our relationship. So why would I think that you carry that out? Oh, you hate me. You gonna get you gonna get your peoples on me, or you gonna throw grits on me in my sleep, or this and that. You ain't gonna do everything you said. You ain't never backed up what you said. You ain't never done what you said. So why would I believe you?
Wow.
The point of that is when there's times when things have built up so much, they get to a place. And my favorite saying is that I can show you better than I can tell you. And I've done that. I've swallowed a lot of things in my life. But when I got to that point, if I go silent, you have a problem. And if I get to that place, I'm not backing out. I'm coming at your neck. So that's a reason why that's why communication shouldn't even allow you to get to that place where you're not listening. Then after something happens to you, then you're like, oh, I should have been paying attention. I should have listened. I should have been on my P's and Q's. I should have respected that. No, but you don't, because the reality is that that person was never who they said they was in the first place. But we still walk with them to try to be sure, like, okay, look, I want you to be like me. Everybody's not going to be like me. They're not going to act or behave like me. So you're going to have some differences that's going to come about that. You're talking about communication and why people do what they do or why this happened. It's a buildup. It's a manifestation of all your emotions coming together to a big clash, a big bang. And if you don't back out or learn to move away or walk away, be able to let that simmer down and come back on a respectful place, a respectful plane where both of you can sit down and talk about, like, okay, hey, yeah, I was angry earlier because of X, Y, and Z. Because normally you do this when we have a conversation, or when I want to go on vacation, or I want to go to this, you always choose that. When I want to go visit my parents, you don't want to visit my parents, but you always want me to come to go visit your parents. I just address the situation so there can be some type of balance and get everybody to be able to communicate and be open and be like, okay, yes, you know what? I didn't know I was doing that, and vice versa. So there's ways that you can go about handling that. And again, it's just about how you do and how you handle. But Miss B, I'm gonna tell you, and the fellas know that I know, and I know that they know that when your significant other, your friend with benefit, your fiance, your girlfriend, or whoever sometimes is coming in and they talking to you, and let's say if we focus on a game, or we might just be jotting down some things, but we so self-absorbed and thinking about what we're doing that not 9 times out of 10 we don't put down what we're doing. We're gonna still stay focused on what we're doing. So she's coming in and she's saying, she's talking about something, and it could be important. Your life could be dependent on it. We won't even know it most of the times. She's coming in. It's like Charlie, womp, 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 womp. And as she sat down and asked you, you're like, she was like, so what should I do about that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I think that,
You be all right.
oh, well, we're going to handle it. And as she asks you to repeat what she says or what I just said, we could not tell her for a million. If our life depended on it, we could not tell her what she just said in the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Oh.
And that's sad. We got to change that. But she could tell us a conversation we might have had 5 or 10 years ago, word for word, and she'll repeat the same conversation she just gave you in the last 2 minutes that you didn't even hear. I'm just saying, like, you're like, oh, I heard you. That's sad, fellas. We have to work on that. As she's coming to you to talk to you, don't forget that you are her confidant. You are her partner, family. You're her friend as well. And you'll be mad as she talk to somebody else about a situation.
Hold up. That's why a whole lot of people wind up slipping and tipping because they just think, I just need somebody to talk to. He listens, and before you know it, they're touching and feeling, and before you know it, you got a broken relationship. Communication is very important. Bishop KJ Brown says, great point, Chris. You got to be able to regroup. There were times I said things too wrong way because I was tired working 75 hours a week. And so those are the times when we have to say, okay. And you know what? I know this sounds, you're helping me to really appreciate my husband because when he had the time, he loved PlayStation. And of course, he's a sports fanatic. But he may say, what now? But he'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll listen. And he'll go, yes, dear. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. No, go ahead. And he'll say, go ahead. Don't worry about it. I can always rewind it. I can do whatever. But you just reminded me how special he is because everybody didn't have that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, when I say the majority don't have that, Ms. B. But I'm glad to say that I have a partner that does do that. And although sometimes they may be in a rush, it's like, they may listen for a second, but it's like, when I finish taking this call or I finish doing this, don't forget what you said. We're gonna talk about it. So that's still validating and saying that, hey, I'm not dismissing you. No, we're gonna talk about it. But when we talk about respect and communication, there are those that said, I'm in the middle of something. I'm doing something right now. Can't you see that? Respect that.
Ooh, yes. Been
So
there, done that with my first one.
takes that to a whole different place of what respect and disrespect and a lot of things are in your relationship. You're like, you commanded respect, but you really giving disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can probably tell you, I got to tell you probably 100 stories in regards to that. But when I started doing the same thing to them, I was the worst thing since death. Like, I was the worst thing. I mean, I was the worst because when I gave it back to you, they couldn't accept that. They didn't want that. But it's okay for you to do it to somebody else. Nah, family, it's not. And another thing I want to touch on, I know we're winding down right now. I know we got to start it a little bit late, so I know we got a few more minutes, but
go ahead. I'm good.
One of the things that I wanted to share and bring to other people's attention tonight, and this is a biggie, and I am so glad that the gentlemen that I have around me right now have realized this and they've come to terms and they're being more supportive and they're more aware and being more supportive of what I'm about to say and talk about. So when we talk about respecting and listening to your partners, right? There's an aspect that we have these, I'm gonna flip it. We're gonna use a female as the reference right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got females, they have their dreams, goals, and aspirations. You get together, this could be in a normal, regular relationship. It could be a family situation. It's a lot of dynamics. It could be a blended family situation, right? Excuse me. She respects the fact, family, that we may go out and play sports and we may hang out with our partners a whole lot. We may work long hours and she'll wait for us. We may even, the fact that we may have a job and then we're going to school after the fact. We may take men's only trips, things of that nature. She even takes care of your kids. They're not even her kids while you're away doing what you do. And again, they're not even her own, but she's doing this, right? and she allows us to take the lead on certain things and allow us to get what we need to get while she lacks and stays behind, hoping that in turn her dreams, her goals, her aspirations are also going to be respected and brought to the forefront and supported just as well as she did yours. But guess what, fellas? As soon as she talk about uh, growing, she's talking about making more money. She's talking about getting better education. Um, she wants to take a all girls trip, whether it's with her family or her friends. The majority of us will not support her in her goals, her dreams, her goals, and her aspirations. Why don't we support and elevate her when she's done all she could to support and elevate us? Why, family? Put in the chat. I'm waiting. Please put the information in the chat box. I just want to hear it. A lot of us may not want to be transparent, open, and honest and say that this is not what we do. This is not how we do. But why? Is it insecurity? She's not going to be as dependent on you anymore. You can't control what she does when she's not in your place, your person, or your presence. What is it? You don't want her to come up to be to make more money than you. What is it? We have to. I guess Miss B mentioned it earlier about the why. There's always a reason behind something. You may not admit or address it openly, like the statement in Issues of Men, but this is why we're having this conversation, because it needs to change. Why would you become something? Why would you want to become an oppressor? To stay in control? I don't want to share. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that because you feel you're going to be less, or what is it?
There we go with that why again.
Why? Why? And I just want the fellas to get that. Where is that same loyalty and admiration, that same love and respect that was given to you? That's still that same love and respect, that loyalty needs to be given to you, given to your partner as well. So, as we boil things down, how can we be better, family? How can we be better? Some of the things that I've come up with, that I've experienced in my group of men who have these discussions and conversations, is that we recognize that we have to listen to be present, straight up and down. There's no compromise in that. We have to listen and we have to be present. We can't be here half the time, quarter of the time, third or 0% of the time. We have to be present and we have to listen. Another thing that we do, that I find that women do more than us, is be thoughtful of how we feel. We have to reciprocate. We have to do the same thing for them as well, is to be thoughtful of what they feel, what they think, and all those things that go along with that, family. It's good to be appreciated. Show them that you appreciate them, that you love them, acknowledge them, to say that, say thank you. It could be a small thing. She might have hung up your jacket or something that you may have left it in the front or on a banister or something like that in haste and rush. She put that away for you or something like that. Just say thank you. Don't say, oh, what you doing with my jacket? Oh, you checking in my jacket? Basically, what you said, it's sad, because basically you saying that, you basically telling her, without even telling her, that you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, and you thinking that she checking your jacket. What was in your jacket? What did you put in your jacket? What did you have in your jacket? Or what did you think about it. That has to change, family. If you make a mistake or something happens, be open and honest about it and say, you know what? I made that mistake. I'm sorry. And mean it. Don't just say, oh, I'm sorry. You keep it moving. It's not the third. Say that you're sorry, family. Address your mistakes and address her with kindness. Everything that somebody does sometimes doesn't warrant a full-blown battle that turns into a war. Everybody makes mistakes. Seriously, stop playing. Address it like it is a mistake. Give that person an opportunity. Now, if they come back and do the same thing again, okay, now you got something to stand on. But people make mistakes, things happen. Address it with kindness. They'll receive you better. They will do better in return the next time. I always say this in a lot of my conversations, and a lot of guys might look at me like, At first, they kind of standoffish or like, yeah, whatever, bro. Make decisions based on what's right, not always what I feel or what I think, because sometimes what we feel and what we think, it ain't right, Miss B. Straight up. It's just what it is. So we have to do better at that. We talk about boundaries. We all need boundaries in our relationships, our friendships, and everything else. We need boundaries. Stay in those lines. Don't cross them. I'm just saying, right? It's
Wow.
it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that going on right now. We crossing boundaries that we should not be crossing or attempting to cross them. And you think that because somebody might not have said something initially that, okay, now I'm good. Now I'm going to step. I'm going to take my foot and move that other line out the way. You're going to keep pushing until you step on the landmine. I'm just telling you, family. So
Boom.
when there's boundaries in place, keep those boundaries. And I would just say live and let live. And what I mean by that is we're individuals, right? We have our own way that we walk. We have our own beat, and this is how we move. Live and let live. Just because that person doesn't mimic or be in symmetry with the same movements and things that you're doing doesn't mean that they're evil, that they're wrong, that they're your enemy. Think about that. Live and let live. If they're not doing anything that's detrimental to you or hurting you or your relationship or things of that nature, something that's major, let them be them. Live and let live. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Everything does not have to be a disrespect or argument, because I think what it is why people say this so much. Oh, you disrespected me, or you said this, or you did that. Is because it doesn't necessarily flow with your mindset, maybe what you think, how you believe, maybe how you was raised, and it's on any other. My parents said this, and you standing on it. My uncle said, and my church said.
Oh Lord,
Listen,
don't even say that.
no, listen. Everything does not have to be a disrespect or argument. Again, we're going back to respect and being able to listen. If we can't respect others for their belief systems, if you can't listen to somebody else, how are you going to even be able to come to a compromise or understanding of each other the way you are? Because you actually find out that you are more bonded together by many things, more than just these parameters and things that are set outside for us. We have to do better at that, family. And so with that being said, I'm just going to share my final thought. Miss B's going to share her final thought. And, we're going to get to some things and we're going to close out. So with that being said, I just really feel like, Miss B, respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, right? Doesn't necessarily mean, because she got this, she got that, and she's just beautiful and this and that. Okay. There's a lot of things wrong with people because of that. But if you respect them for who they are, even if they're different from you, they might think different from you, act different than you, and not even agree with you. Just respect them for who they are. Respecting your relationships, Miss B, they build feelings of trust, safety, and well-being, not being in a relationship with somebody and being disrespected, being tortured every day. Your trust is being broken. Your mental and your emotional health is being torn down to the ground for being with somebody who is just constantly disrespecting you, not respecting you for who you are. And family, especially fellas, this is something that we can learn, right? If it's something that you can learn, it's definitely something that you can earn, even if you don't know it. If you wanted to raise in this kind of environment or somebody allowing you to be mutually respected and loved, and you definitely have to be in a place where you can learn it, understand it, place action on it, and if it's broken, you can earn it back. It's going to take some time, but it's something that we need to do, fellas. And I promise you, one of these days, if you don't start today, you don't get better at it, your life and your relationship may depend on it one day. Think it won't. It's B.
Well said. I just want to piggyback on that and what I said earlier. The communication has a lot to do with the respect that you have for that person and yourself. Respect yourself enough to respect the person that you love. You can agree to disagree. And when Chris said the differences, none of us are exactly alike our partner. But don't allow the differences to separate you to the point where there's no communication.
No return.
No return. And so always be the bigger person if you can and say, let's talk about it. Even if they don't, all you can do is ask, can we talk about why we have to always go visit your parents? Can we compromise? There's some things that you just have to decide, I can't deal with this. I don't want to see any relationship break up, but if you don't seek spiritual counseling or professional counseling and they're not willing to give, then you have to decide, what do you want for your life? Sometimes it's not about how well do you listen. It's how well do they respect you? How well do you respect yourself? Respect yourself enough to love yourself more than you love the love from somebody else. And if they're not loving you back the way you deserve, then don't ignore it. You have to, you really do. I don't want to say that. I want everybody to say, Mr. B, say I got to get a divorce. No, I just said get counseling. And even if they don't go, you go to see how you can better handle the situation. Because sometimes, you can just set the example by changing your response to them. There's a lot of ways to save a relationship, but you just have to want to. But it goes back to respect yourself and respect your significant others. So thank you.
Absolutely. And next week's discussion, and listen, family, I apologize. It may change. It may change. I'm sorry about that. But next week's, we're going to talk about what's good for the goose and good for the gander. Talk about double standards in relationships. It happens a lot. And again, that needs to be addressed, especially for us men. I'm mixing a couple little small samples of things in here, but just as to give you a prelude to what we're going to get into next week. And I'm not going to be easy next week in regards to some of these things, because a lot of them don't make sense. It just don't make sense, right?
I heard you. I'm scared.
Yeah, it's like sometimes we need that paddle. Sometimes we really do. So next week, I'm gonna pull out the paddle next week. If you'd like to provide a topic for the show, email me at the issuesofmen@gmail.com. And the subject line, just put a small title, and in the email body, just place something in there that you would like me to get the gist of what you're saying. Put your contact information there as well. I will reach out to you. We will have a conversation, and we'll talk about. So I have an understanding of making sure that I understand what you're saying, so I know that you know, and vice versa. So we definitely want to do that so we get on the show, and I may even just bring you in on the show to talk about the subject, under certain things and parameters. So issuesofmen@gmail.com in regards to that. I said .com. Issuesofmen@gmail.com. There it is, family. So with that being said, and again, if you would like to support the continued growth of this platform, definitely if you would like to donate to $AscensionServices, also donate to Storm Talk, $Storm Talk. I apologize about that. So please, family. And again, a lot of times, a lot of these things are, we definitely just need to support and help us at some point in time. And again, you know, we are putting great content together, putting content and things of that nature together. So we just ask for your support. And again, with that being said, this is the Issues of Men, 7 p.m. Wednesday evening, with Miss B and all things Miss Allen.
With who? Me, Miss B. All right. All right, everybody. There you have it. Join us right here back 7 p.m. East Coast time every Wednesday. We really appreciate it. And Chris is just going to bring the paddle out next week. So don't miss that. Share, like, comment if you want to, but whatever it is, you can email him at issuesofmen@gmail.com. Tell him you like it. Tell him you want to be on the show. Go to his YouTube channel and catch up on all the past episodes. Again, we thank you so much for your support. Have a blessed night, everybody.
You have a good night. Love you all. Peace.